Humans on the cardboard, welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Tonight we actually finally have our very first reveals, at least for artwork, of the new deck build pack themes. This is Amazing Defenders, I think. It's coming out in the OCG August 20th, so we're like 2.5-ish months away from the OCG getting it, so we have some ways to go, because then even after that, we gotta wait a couple months until we get it. But still, I always get super hyped for new archetypes, especially in deck build packs, because the one thing that's different about deck build packs is, like, because that's really the meat and potatoes of the entire deck build pack, is like, if the archetypes aren't good, the set sucks. So Konami wants to make, like, theoretically they should want to make ready to play decks right out of the pack, and that means, like, we're always looking at, like, potential meta threats every single deck build pack, so, or at least rogue threats. So let's jump into it. We got artwork and probably just a little bit of information on them, but yeah. So the first one here is new theme 1, which is called R Ace or Rescue Ace. So kind of like how we have S Force, this will probably be R Ace archetype. Very cool. This is an ace monster of justice who boldly confronts any threat. I mean, I wouldn't even be surprised if this ends up being, like, in the same lore as S Force. I don't know if they do that in a side set, whereas, like, most of the S-Force other themes that are in that lore have come out in main deck core sets, at least from my memory, but, you know, who knows? They could be anywhere. But really cool. I mean, like I said, there's not going to be a ton of information here, but it is more just kind of a first look. What do you see? Machine archetype. This guy looks like he'll probably be a fire machine. Interesting. Obviously, you got to keep into consideration that we have a ton of good machine archetypes already that actually do a pretty good job at working together. So cool. This could potentially pull into the Earth Machine deck or some of these other, you know, Earth like combination decks, and I'd be curious to see where they go. But cool. Next up here we go to theme number 2. This is purely an XYZ. Okay, so we actually have information that this is probably an XYZ based archetype. Could end up being an archetype that's multiple, you know, different types of monsters in the extra deck, but at least that this one is an Xyz. This is an Xyz monster that grows with the love it receives. Very interesting. I guess that could kind of point out to, like, the fact that kind of the archetype could be that way, or maybe it's almost like level-esque. That's the first thing that comes to mind there. The level archetypes where you use, like, level up to level up the those level archetypes, the armed dragons and whatnot. So maybe it's something like that, where, like, you have a bunch of support cards, and it's kind of like if you kind of give love to one monster, it kind of jumps into the next stage, because this one looks like more of like a fully developed monster. So maybe it's an Xyz based archetype where they can kind of rank on top of each other once you've done something that, like, kind of helps them. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, if you activate a card that targeted this monster, then you're allowed to just overlay for the next one, and they get increasingly stronger and stronger. I could see something like that. I don't know, maybe it'd be something specific, like you have to use one of their spell traps on it to affect it, and then from that point on, that counts as, like, giving it love. That way it'd be able to rank up from there. I have no idea. Just some thoughts on that. This looks like it could be multiple things. It looks like it could be a dragon. It looks like it could be a fairy. It looks like it could be a worm, potentially. We've seen, like, worms are just, like, weird dragons, like Chinese-style dragons. So I don't know exactly what to expect from this. Those are the 3 things that come to mind from me, though, like, at least at this point in time. But yeah, very interesting. And then we move to our final one here. Of course, there was no way we were getting out of here without seeing a waifu archetype. Of course. Here we go. New theme 3. This is Mikanko. Okay. And this is a ritual monster that descends with a mystical dance. I definitely get that vibe, you know, based on her outfit and all the floppy, flowy parts of her outfit. She definitely looks like a dancer. Cool. Ritual-based stuff is at, I don't want to say an all-time high, at least relative to the metagame, but, like, we've seen Drytron be very good. Even currently, I'd still say it's probably a pretty good rogue deck. Right, and just with everything we have, Libromancer's actually started to see a little bit of success. Like, I think we're in a good place with ritual stuff, and I just think this one, just immediately out the gate, kind of has my eyebrow raised, because We've seen this. I didn't even think Libromancer were going to be that good, but we have so many good ritual support cards that like consistency is super easy in a ritual deck. We also have stuff like Ben 10. I would not be surprised if she is a fairy, and this is another fairy archetype, which combines insanely well with obviously Ben 10 and some of the other like fairy ritual stuff we already have. So keep it in mind. I mean, it's just, I think we're in a good spot here. This could be really good, but we'll obviously have to see. Other than that, let's see. In August, extra large issue of V-Jump release in addition to the OCG card information. But yeah, nothing too crazy here. Yeah, I mean, it's just talking about the V-Jump stuff because this is where I think most of this information came out. Nothing too crazy. I mean, again, August 20th, we're about a month and away, 2.5 months away, sorry, from this actually coming out in the TCG, or in the OCG, then we'll get it after that. I would expect them to start doing reveals, because keep in mind, Konami's been doing this thing where for the deck build packs, they'll just literally give out like 12 of the 13 cards of one archetype all at once in one night. And then they'll do that for all three as you slowly get closer to the set. And then right before the set comes out, they'll release the final card for each set, or for each archetype. And sometimes they'll literally hold the best card for last. And that's always fun to see what if they want to finish really strong with something. But all in all, hard to say here what I like out of the three. I guess I'm most intrigued by the machine one. I think he's the coolest. This one seems like a kind of basic, kind of fluffy animal archetype, Melfi-ish, but more grown up, maybe even Dragon Maid-ish. And then this is just your basic waifu archetype. So like art-wise, like I guess I'm going with the machine one out the gate, but I obviously have to see where they go. I'm going to lean more one way than other after actually seeing what the cards do. But that's it for me here. There we go. I guess in the comment section, there's two things I want you to say. Let me know, one, if you think there's any other interesting points to note about either the artwork, if they could allude to another archetype or something, or kind of give away maybe some potential information on where you think the archetype could lead, or two, which one of these is your number one so far? Just with this little information, just seeing one artwork from one card, where are you leaning on these with just these little bits of information? I'd love to hear where you guys go. I'm obviously Team R Ace right now, but we'll see. Obviously, that can easily change once we actually see what the decks do. But that's it for tonight, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date on all Yu-Gi-Oh news as it drops. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.